everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Makin It Yappin. My guest again is Red.
I'm back.
It is a different day.
It is, in fact, a different day.
It's a brand new day.
Yes.
So, our main topic for this is, music and how music fandom has impacted our lives in a meaningful way, as our first episode was visual media, like TV and movies. But can I do an emergency story time just to talk about how great this Airbnb is?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh my god. So, how did we even find this place?
Just searching through the Airbnb app, honestly.
Yeah. And you were, looking for things near you.
Yeah, I was really trying to just find something that was, maybe a couple hours away. And then I was sending you all the different links of, hey, what looks good? And I was just like, here you go. Here's all the ones that I kind of like. And you picked this one. And I was like, looks good to me. 4.5 hours away.
We figured that out, after I got here. Because you started mapping. You're like, it's 4 hours away.
Yeah. But you know what? The drive was fun.
It really was.
It's in kind of the middle of nowhere, but it is crazy cool out here.
Crazy good.
Yes.
So, I was a little nervous about it because, I've only stayed at a couple Airbnbs. The last couple times, it was a very isolated place, and I really liked that, especially just shooting cosplay and stuff, and wanting to play music, I don't want to disturb people. But this time, we drove up, and we saw it was, one of several houses, and I was like, oh boy, we're not really gonna have privacy, what if they're, judgy of, stuff we want to do? Do we need to shoot inside? Do we need to keep it down? But, first thing, we get there, and their dog herds the car into the driveway.
So cute.
Sweet Poncho. There will be a video of him in here, because I've had a lot of fun with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's so fun and so smart, and he just has to herd everything. And so here's us playing ball. And then we met Jenny, the kitty. There's also content of her somewhere in here.
Loved her. She was super sweet and super cute.
Yeah. So, we got set up. Suzanne, our host, one of our hosts, basically showed us around the house. And I really appreciated that, she was very willing to just, let us be at our own devices. We were tired. We just wanted to, decompress.
Yeah. Long drive.
Yeah. And then we've been here for kind of Thursday, all of Friday. We haven't really gone outside and done cosplay until today.
Yeah.
Which was something I was nervous about. And I even thought, oh, what if we just, warn them, okay, we're nerds, we're gonna be doing some costume stuff, don't worry if you see it, but we just didn't have a chance to, and so we just went outside to do it. This is what we looked like. Poncho, the dog, had opinions about you.
He did not like me. Oh my god.
But at the same time, he was, still, wagging. His body was friendly, but he was barking.
He was like, I want to approach, but I'm kind of scared. I don't know who this is. This is a new person. Where did you come from?
Yeah, he didn't even do that when we first got here. He knew you were something else.
He's like, this isn't a person.
This is not a human. Smart dog.
Uh-huh.
But then, the more we talked, he was like, oh, voice, and then he came up and smelled you, and he's like, alright.
I remember.
Never mind, and then he just left. He's like, okay, never mind. My job here is done. Ball?
Yep.
So, and then the other host, Alan, called him off and did not, even flinch or think twice about our costume. He was like, alright, I'll put him in the house.
That was
okay.
it. No mention. We were
unbothered.
Okay.
Do you see this a lot? I didn't even have a chance to ask. He was just like, hey.
Right.
It's you either see this a lot or you just are so unbothered and chill, and both are great. But then, while we were shooting, he came over and asked to take a picture of us, and he said that his son is a cosplayer who's actually kind of in my area. So it's oh, okay, he not just...
He gets it.
He didn't just oh, okay, they're doing something, I'm gonna leave him alone. He knows what cosplay is. He gets it.
He even said, he said the word cosplay, and I was like, he knows.
Ah!
He knows.
Mm-hmm. He knows what we're doing. I mean, I imagine that's, cool for him to just, get a random guest.
Yeah.
And they're a cosplayer, because I don't know how...
It makes me wonder, like, they
you
probably
had
haven't
other
had them
cosplayers
before.
here?
Right.
Are we the first?
Oh, yeah.
No one else has done what we've done. We're like the originators of cosplay.
We have changed the whole scene. You just...
Never before seen. So, and then we had a little conversation. He took a picture of us to send to his son, and then he left, and then he came back and he was like, do you want lights for your photography? And I was like, oh my god, yes, because that's something that I thought about bringing, and then I didn't, because I thought you had lights, and then you didn't have lights,
Right.
and I was like, well, we wanted to shoot stuff inside once the sun went down, and I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work, like, it's not very bright in here. So, he gave me 2, like, really good, like, studio lights that I'm familiar with the type of light, I've used them before. I was able to take pictures like this inside the house with great camera settings because of those lights. So, like, I appreciate that so much. We were able to, like, ask for a late checkout so we can actually shoot more stuff tomorrow.
Yes, I'm very excited.
And he said, like, if we want to host cosplay shoots here, bring people out here, host events here, we can do that. So I'm really excited to, like, start networking with more people and hosting events.
It was so worth the drive. Like, I was genuinely worried about, like, what the kind of vibes would be. This area is particularly known for having certain groups that are just not kind to others for who they are. And so to be having...
You can say it.
Republicans.
Yeah.
It's
a Trumpy area. Like, we walked past a house with a Trump flag on the way... We drove past a house with a Trump flag on the way here, and at first I thought it was the house because I couldn't see your GPS.
Oh.
So I never knew when we were close, and so we were, like, coming up on, you know, a section of houses, and I was like,
oh no.
house, which was, like, that was something I was concerned about, like, you know, renting a space out in rural areas, you kind of get 2 types of people. You get hardcore Trumpers, or you get very laid-back, like, homesteaders and farmers, and that's what we got.
We couldn't have gotten, like, a better place. Like, the fact that he was like, I have lights. Cosplayers. We have a little gazebo set up you can use for, like, events
love
later.
Gazebos.
Right. I was like, holy shit. We insanely lucked out.
He was recommending things for us. He's like, well, this time of year we get lots of fireflies, and it's gorgeous, and it's cool for fairy stuff. And I'm like, okay,
he literally, when he came back to give us some, like, fire starter, because we have a little fireplace in here, and he was like, yeah, like, we really just want people to come here and, like, relax and be creative and just have, like, a space. He's like, go anywhere on our property. He's like, we just don't care. I was like, wow, that is crazy.
Like, we will be back.
Oh, absolutely.
We will absolutely be back. We will, like, plan it out knowing the atmosphere here, knowing what we're, like, allowed to do, which is, like, anything.
Pretty much.
Like, even on the first day, we asked Sue, like, you know, is there any, like, noise issues? And she was like, no, we don't care. Like,
she's like, if you're playing music, we'll probably jam along with you.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, they are great. They're laid back.
Yes. Yeah, very, very thankful.
It's amazing. So, I'm actually going to put in the description a link to this Airbnb listing. It's in... What is it, like, southern Wisconsin?
Northern
Wisconsin. We went the other way.
Northwest.
Yeah.
Yes, it is pretty close to Minnesota. But yeah, beautiful place. Yeah. The drive-in was gorgeous. There's lots of animals around. They have a very nice, like, grocery store in town, which is, like, what was it, like 7 minutes away?
Yeah, they were so nice there.
Yes, and it's like, you'd think, oh, it's just a tiny little convenience place. Like, they had everything lot of stuff.
We got everything on the list.
Yes, and it's cheaper than going to Walmart. Like,
yeah,
for the amount of groceries that we got, easily, like, over $50 at Walmart. So I was like, this is great. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, if you're interested in checking this out, if you're just in the area and you want to take a little staycation, definitely check it out. It's really fun. You're gonna have great hosts that take care of you.
Couldn't recommend it more.
Yeah, like anything we've asked for, like they have brought it. They let us borrow milk.
Yes, we were gonna buy milk on the way in, and we forgot, and it was getting
like
late.
9 p.m. Yeah,
Right, and the place was closed, and so we were like, "Hey, could we maybe borrow some milk?" She was like,
I didn't even need much. I was like, "Can I just get like a couple ounces just to mix in something?"
She brought a whole mason
glass.
jar of it. We're like, "Wow!" And she's like, "Yep, this is milk from the cows down
down
the
the
street,
road, and we saw the cows."
Yes,
and there's chickens here. There's a great dog. There's a cat. There's like other wildlife. There's pretty bugs. It's great.
Yeah, I think when it gets warmer is when they have honeybees. They make their own honey.
Yes.
During certain time periods, they have like their own food that they're growing. A lot of like vegetables, fruits, things like that. They have a lot of herbs, so they actually stock the cupboard with spices. And there's like basically any spice you can think of in
They
there.
got parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
You heard it live here. And then the only thing that was like an issue was that the Wi-Fi was not working, and we went through like so many lengths of trying to fix it, but like have been nothing but helpful. Yeah. Were actively messaging me back and like coming to communicate with us, and we're like, we're so sorry, but it's like, it's technology. We totally get it.
Yeah.
But they just could not have been more helpful. Like, definitely best hosts ever. Yeah. Would recommend.
I loved it.
Yes. Yeah. For sure. We'll be coming back. We will be back. Definitely.
So, semi-segueing, we were shooting cosplay for Ghost, and this episode is about fandom of like music and bands and how impactful that can be. Mm-hmm. So, would you like to start?
Sure, yes. Okay, so music for me, obviously it's very extremely important to both of us.
Yeah.
I think it kind of started when I was a kid. I specifically can remember this memory like very vividly of I was in the basement with my dad, and he pulls out this long like black box, and we're like, "Oh, what's this?" And he's like, "Oh, this is a trombone." And I was like, "Okay, what's that?" You know, and he pulls out, he puts it together, he starts playing on it, and it was just like the funniest thing to me. I was like, this is so, it makes such a crazy noise. Yeah. Like, yeah. Right. So I'm messing around with it. I was a tiny little kid, so this thing is huge, and it was just goofy. And then a few years later, there was a point when I was in 5th grade, is when you have the option to join band. And I was like, I would like to play the trombone. I want to follow after my dad. It was a big thing for me. And even like the band instructor was like, "You are too small to play it." He told me he didn't think I could reach the last position of how the slides. I was maybe like 10 years old. So, but I was a very petite kid. Aww. So yeah. So reaching out, there's different positions on those slides. And the 7th one is all the way at the end. And that one was, yeah, far to reach. Very far. But I was determined, and I was like, no, I'm going to play it. So that became my instrument. I played the trombone from 5th grade all the way through college.
You know what my instrument is?
What?
Mayonnaise.
Is mayonnaise an instrument? No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Oh yeah. And I did concert band, marching band, basically all the things that you can do with that. It was a huge part of my life. I met probably about 90% of the important people in my life through that. Huge like community thing. You build lifelong relationships. You learn so much. So obviously music at that point, and then also
music like that you were making too.
Yes, I was making. So like learning songs from that, gaining a, I think, valuable skill of that. But then also getting music from my dad, from my mom, my family, people around me. I feel like I have a really huge variety of music tastes.
Yeah, I'm always surprised like you'll know something.
It's like either I know it or I just I'm like, I've never heard of them. And you're like, come on, this is on the radio.
Yeah. I'm like, this plays in Walmart.
How do you not know it? It's like,
you probably heard it 20 times. Well, no, you don't go to Walmart, so
right.
Never mind.
Yeah. Yikes. But so yeah, so I have like a huge taste, and that's a big thing for me growing up. Just like music was always really important. Like, I would associate music with the people who showed it to me. So if someone was like, hey, I think you should listen to this song, I think about that person when I listen to it. It's just like, building relationships with people based on music, which is like, you don't really think about, but it just has had such an effect on me. And then slowly leading into kind of our topic of fandoms, I found the band Ghost from TikTok. The band. Of course, seems like a lot of people found them through that. When Mariana Cross...
Not me.
You're special.
I'm so special. I'm better than you.
Yeah, honestly. But Mariana Cross had gotten so popular, and then there were, like, videos of them at their shows called Rituals, and I was like, these look really cool. I kind of want to know more. And then I'm starting to listen more to the music and getting into that. And then there are these characters that they're playing, and it just snowballs into finding more people who love this band and love the characters. And we all just come together, and we're all... / reference.
I feel like that's going to be most of our audience anyway.
Right.
Most of our audience is just my followers. Thank you for being here.
Love y'all. But yeah, just finding like so many people. Like, I found you through that. I have all these amazing friends that I'm so thankful to have. If I lost them, I'd be devastated. And that's just through loving a band. That's literally all it was. Like, yeah, it went through Twitter, but it was that band. I wouldn't be on Twitter if it weren't for that band. And so for it to have such a huge impact on my life, it's like, now it's half my wardrobe. Anytime I get a paycheck, the band seems to drop a new line of merch. They know. But yeah, like I
wouldn't be in a cabin in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin.
Exactly.
If not for Ghost.
What would I be doing? I would be, what is it, Saturday?
You'd be playing Fortnite.
I would not be playing Fortnite.
Minecraft?
Nope. I would be sitting on my phone or playing Baldur's Gate. That's a big one.
Would you have gotten into Baldur's Gate if you weren't on Twitter?
I don't know, because I heard about it, I think, through TikTok and or word of mouth. But yeah, that's definitely a good question, because I feel like a lot of it came from Twitter as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, it's amazing what it can do, like music in general. Yeah, I wouldn't be here. I don't know what I'd be doing. Definitely one of like the best experiences of my life was going to a Ghost concert.
Same.
I went alone. I was terrified. I was in the pit, and I got there, and I felt like safer than I would, like, I don't know, just in my backyard at night. Like, it was like people cared for each other. It was community. Even if they didn't know me, it was community. And I was bawling my eyes out watching this. Like, it felt so good. Another thing that I was gonna say, I forgot, but it came back to me. The crazy thing is that I didn't know that one of my family members knew Ghost. And so I was listening to a podcast, and I was talking about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, like, I'm listening to this podcast right now, and they're interviewing this guy. His name is Tobias. And my uncle was like, oh my God, like,
how many Tobiases are there in the world?
Right. He was like, the band Ghost?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. How did you know? He's like, I love that band. And I was like, oh my God, no, me too. Wait, how did we not know this?
Yeah.
And he's like, I literally have a full mannequin of the Ghouls in my basement. And I was like, I've been there. I literally have been there. And it used to terrify me. And I didn't put it together until later. And I was like,
which era?
Meliora. Yeah. So it's like, you know, but I remember being at like a pool party, and we had gone in their basement just to like see it, because he's like, oh, I redid this, I want to show you guys.
Yeah.
And I saw that thing in the corner, and I was like, oh, like mannequins kind of freaked me out. But then like he was like, yeah, that's what that is in my basement, like later on. And I was like, Oh my god. So now I can bond over that with him. Like, and him and I didn't really have...
I need a picture of this when you go there.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like he probably has
tour.
Texted me one, so I'll have to look through. But, like, I didn't have much of, like, a bond with him because we didn't have much in common. Like, he was maybe closer with, like, my other cousins. And so then after that, we were like, oh my god, Ghost Bestie. Like, it's... And we didn't have that before, and it's just, like, all because of a band. That's literally it. Like, it's done so much for me. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, like, obviously, coming from partly the same perspective, like, I met you through Ghost.
Yeah.
I would say most of my friends that I currently see, hang out with, talk to every day are because of Ghost. I discovered Ghost through... kind of like, not through someone who was super into them showing them to me, but through a friend, like, during COVID, me and my ex, our friend would come over, or we'd go to his house, he was, like, part of our pod, and we would just watch a movie. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of movies that I haven't seen, so that's when we would catch up me on movies.
Yeah.
And it was, like, his turn to suggest a movie, and he wanted to watch Halloween Kills, which had just come out on streaming. And there was Halloween 2018 before it, and I hadn't seen the original, I hadn't seen any of them. I liked horror movies. I thought I didn't like slasher movies, because I had watched all of the Friday the 13th movies and didn't really like it. And I was like, yeah, slashers just aren't for me. I just hadn't found the right one.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever, we'll watch it. I figured I'd just be on the couch on my phone the whole time. However, now this slasher is an old man. They got me.
That's where they got you.
They got me. So I started paying attention. I was like, okay, I like this movie. And then I'm really paying attention for the second one, Halloween Kills. And then the end credit song is a Ghost song, Hunter's Moon. And back then, like, I was only into one band, and I will talk about that in a second. I wonder if you can guess. But, I didn't really get into band fandoms. I would just listen to music, I would hear a song, I would add it. Yeah. I wouldn't even necessarily remember who the artist was. So, Hunter's Moon was playing, I Shazammed it, I added it to my library, didn't think much of it. It was up in my recent ads, so I started listening to it a lot. And, it became like a song that I really liked. And it still took me a couple months because I always, like, forget this, or I used to. If I like one song by a band, maybe I should check out more songs by that artist. Yeah. So, I discovered another song just from, like, being in the car with the same friend. So he knew Ghost a little. He wasn't, like, super into them, but he really liked Rats. So, like, he would play it in the car, and it would get in my head. So I added that to my library. And then I was like, let me check out a couple other songs. Then I added Square Hammer and Dance Macabre. But I was still, like, not expecting to like everything in the catalog. I didn't know about the characters and the story and everything. I didn't even know what they looked like. I was just like, alright, let me listen to this, whatever. And then I think just super gradually I learned more, started listening to more songs. There was no, like, definitive moment where I, like, discovered them. Mm-hmm. It was just this gradual thing that really slowly snowballed and pulled me in. I became more active on Twitter and, started going to rituals, and through Twitter found a bunch of friends, and then, wanting to see those friends actually got me traveling more.
Right.
I hadn't really done a lot of, like, solo travel. I was very intimidated by the idea of it and just not confident, but I wanted to meet these friends and I wanted to, go out and do things on my own. So that got me, like, out of my shell. It got me making more content, being very creative. And because it was one of the first bands that I actively would, like, watch playing, and honestly, I would say listened to the songs more than I would listen to anyone else's songs over and over again, they're helping me learn about music, because I would get to a point where I could watch a clip of them playing without audio, and I could, like, read what they were playing on guitar just from that, or drums or something. And so even though I can't really, like, play an instrument other than mayonnaise, I know things about music and instruments, and I don't know how that's, you know, gonna help me at some point, but I love learning things. It's good to have knowledge.
Yeah.
So, like, it's helping me learn things, it's helping me grow in confidence by just being something that I want to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, going back to, like, how you found it, I still remember, like, it was a really weird way how I found them on TikTok. Like, it wasn't just, oh, here's a video of them and it's Mariana Cross or whatever. But it was a cosplayer that I follow, and she had used Mariana Cross as a sound for her video. And everyone in the comments were like, do you know what the lyrics are saying? Like, do you know? And she's a full adult. Like, she knows what it's saying. Like, you go down, you know what he's saying. Yeah. So she even, like, made a video to address it, and she's like, yes, like, and so I'm like, what is this song about? Like, I want to know what's going on. It sounds kind of dirty, okay? Like, so then I looked it up, and then I was like, okay. And then ever since then I started getting, like, videos of them playing, and I'm like, okay, now I gotta find out who these ghouls are. I love me some ghouls.
And honestly, that's the way to, like, kind of get me to care about something. There's a special trick to making me care. I like things with a story, with a plot, with characters that I can get attached to, because I don't really get attached to, like, you know, real people that I don't know, like artists. Like, I'm not, like, you know, like, super, you know, a fan of people. I'm a fan of work.
Yeah.
And of characters that I can, you know, feel invested in without being, like, parasocial. So, if you give me characters to care about, I'm there.
I'm attached.
Like, even, this other band that I'm really into, Avatar, they don't so much have characters, but they have, you know, stage personas. They have done fictional media where they play different versions of themselves, and just a lot of, like, on-stage antics, costumes. Like, it gives me something to, like, hold on to and think about, and, like a culture. You create, like, a culture around your music. It's makes you want to join that community.
For sure. Yeah, and then with that community, you've got all of us that are cosplaying, dressing up. We are creating our own characters, and then running with it. There's so much opportunity. People go to the rituals dressed up. People just meet up to...
That's the other thing. It's gotten me back into writing, like, making our characters.
Yes, absolutely. Like, it brought creativity out of us. We're drawing, we're writing, we're making outfits.
Yeah, I'm drawing so much more.
Yes, like, my cosplay outfit, a lot of it I had to sew and fix up myself.
Use images and video of it.
Hell yeah. And, like, put all those pieces together, find them in random corners of the internet, and piece it all together. And it's like, we're all just out here doing this over some silly little band that we love. And, like, now we're here. It's just, it's beautiful, I think. But with, like, the dressing up thing, like, we just went to a concert for Chapel Roan, and she had themes for each concert where you're dressing up, which I think is really cool, because some bands just don't do that. Like, I'm thinking, like, Green Day.
Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragon D's nuts. AJR, like, you just go. You wear whatever might be, like, funny to the band, or just, like, something, like a t-shirt, jeans, whatever. Whereas, like, Chapel Roan did a dress-up thing, so we were mermaids, because it has to do with one of her music videos. She also has other themes having to do with her other songs. And even then, it's like, those aren't necessarily characters, but it still, like, brought community, because so many people are all dressed up together, and we're all looking at the outfits. And it gives you, like,
this creative thing to do. It gives you an idea, a spark, and then you run with it. Like, we got really creative with our outfits, our makeup, and we had fun, like, planning it together. It's like, it's an activity.
Yes, and then you get to look at what everybody else did. And it's like, okay, the theme was mermaid, but everyone had so, like, different ideas of what it could be based on who they are.
Everybody's so creative.
Right. Someone had, like, lighthouse stuff and, like, a captain's hat, and it's like, okay, yeah, like, that...
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, like, it's really cool to see how music will bring people together no matter what the theme is. Like, artists can be so different and have so much going on, but we're all still just showing up just to hear them play some music for, what, an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, and then we all go back to our daily lives, but it's like, it had such a lasting effect on us.
And music in general, and I've always felt this way even before I was getting into, like, fandom of music, is like, I just don't understand people who don't, like, have music in their lives all the time. Like, as long as I can remember, I've liked just listening to music. Like, as soon as I could, like, I was, like, I don't know, 10, and I had a Walkman, and I would make myself mixtapes off the radio.
Yes.
Because I just wanted to hear music, you know, on my time, at any time, to be able to listen to music. I had a tiny pocket radio I would listen to all the time. I don't understand. I know people like this, but I don't understand people who, like, they'll only listen to music, like, in the car.
No, literally, I can't, like, sit in silence. Like, I'm making dinner and I got music going. I'm at work. Yeah. I'll either have headphones in or I'm playing music that the whole office enjoys because they also like to have music going. And it's like, I don't get how...
I think it's, at least for most or a lot of people, like, music is just such a human desire. Like, it's not, like, you know, one of the basic needs, but it's like, you know, writing, you know, just having friends, like, it's just something that humans, I think, crave and always have. Like,
and it evokes, like, so much emotion, not only just, like, oh, happy, sad, but, like, they use certain chords just to, like, call for something. Like, in horror movies, it's like, oh, this specific note, it's going to give you chills and think that you're being watched. These specific notes are going to pluck at your heartstrings and make you want to bawl your eyes out.
Yeah, even if, like, it's like, even if there's no words or the words aren't sad, like, a chord can just, like, give an unexplainable emotion. It's like, I don't know what this is making me feel. I don't know why I'm feeling it, but...
I can't tell you how many times I've cried just because a song, like, not even words, just the way the notes moved, and I was like, whoo, I need a minute after that. Wow.
On the note of, like, not just community engagement with music, but personal connection and how it can just help you with yourself, I want to talk about my first favorite band, which is Rush. For the uninitiated, they are a Canadian rock band, and they were, you know, the most popular in, like, the 70s and 80s, but they kept touring into the 2000s. I saw them live 3 times. That's my little flex, is I've seen Rush live 3 times. None of them, like, by my own free will. I was taken to the concerts as a kid. 2 of them I don't remember that well. I didn't have a great time. I was a kid. It was loud and stinky. That's why I have tinnitus now. But,
wear your earplugs.
But the last time I went was, I think I was 15. It was, I think, their last tour, and I was taken because my parents were going. I do have, like, a very personal story with them. Without getting insanely deep on the second episode, I was going to say my father is, I think he's alive, but was not a good person, and that's something that I always knew about him. Like, I remember being, like, 3 and just not wanting to be around him. So, like, I didn't like him. And Rush was his favorite band. And so I, you know, always associated them with him. Like, okay, that's his band. I don't want to share things with him. I don't want to have something in common with him. Like, I don't want anything that's gonna, you know, make us spend time together, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I avoided it. And aside from, like, being taken to the concerts, which is probably another reason I didn't enjoy them. But by the time I was, like, 14, 15, because I had my little pocket radio and I would always listen to the classic rock station, I started hearing them on my own time and starting to actually enjoy them, and then went to this concert actually enjoyed it, actually knew a couple songs that I just knew from the radio, and it was fun, and I started to like them as myself. And then I came to this kind of like crossroads, because it was like, do I just always associate them with him and kind of prevent myself from engaging and enjoying this, or do I, find a way to separate that, enjoy them for myself just because I want to? And I decided that, like, my love for their music won over my association of them with him.
Yeah.
And I decided to enjoy them for myself, and now, like, I hear them and I don't think of him.
Wow.
I just think, I love this band.
Yeah.
So, like, the one song that I do associate with him, and that's not even with him, but about, like, my handling of when my mom and I moved out, is Wish Them Well, which the theme of that song is basically about not letting, people who have wronged you live rent-free in your head.
Yeah.
So, like, my favorite lyric from that is, don't even pause and ask them why, turn around and say goodbye. So it's about not just not holding a grudge and being angry about it, but not being like, why did this happen? Like,
not dwelling on it.
Yeah. Not to say that it cured me, but it introduced me to that mindset. And I listened to it so much, and I tried to, like, take that mindset to heart.
Yeah.
And I think it helped me to do that. And so, like, they're very important to me. I wish I could see them again as, like, a full enjoyer of their music. Unfortunately, I can't. Their drummer passed away a few years ago, and, it's not really them without him.
Yeah.
He's also their lyricist. So, like, he's the person who wrote these songs that, like, mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
Other than Rush, like, I hadn't really felt a strong connection to a band until finding Ghost, and then I'm a little more open to, like, being into bands now. Like, I really like Avatar, I like Ice Nine Kills, and these are all bands that have, like, a shtick.
Yeah.
Give me a shtick, I love it. Rush doesn't really have a shtick, so they're like an outlier of that theme, but they are, like, the first favorite band. But I almost feel like I can't say they are my, like, top favorite band, because, like, they're not active, so I'm not engaging with them anymore. But they, they always have that, like, but I feel like a lot of people have that, like, this is, like, a band that I love, but, they're not together anymore, they're deceased, it's like, I'm never gonna see them again, so almost like being obsessed with them almost, like, is difficult, because you can't see them.
Right, there's nothing to continue it. Like, you're just re-listening to what is already there.
Yeah. But, like, I don't want that to sound like they're not important, like...
Right, yeah, no.
Like, they did a lot for me.
Yeah.
So...
like, I have an artist that I listen to a lot. His name is John Bellion. He has... a crazy variety of, like, songs. He's done, like, kind of rapping stuff to more, like, orchestral things. Mm-hmm. But a lot of his things have a lot of, like, emotion or meaning, or talking about, like, his relationship with his wife, which got strained kind of by him making music. And then eventually he was like, okay, like, I'm gonna kind of pull it back and focus on, like, her, because I want to keep this relationship going. Mm-hmm. And so he's kind of done. He might help, like, other artists write music, but he hasn't put anything out of his own recently. And so it's like, oh, he has a beautiful voice. I love his music. Like, and I know that he's probably one I will never see in concert. And it's like, it's so disappointing, but I'm like, I want him to live his life and do what makes him happy.
Yeah, but, like, those are the things that, like, I literally had a thought.
Woo!
Where did it go? Like, I again, I was saying, like, not really into, like, celebrities and artists. Like, celebrity deaths don't usually, like, bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But when Rush's drummer, Neil Peart, died, I was genuinely, like, sad and crying because I knew that meant that I wouldn't see them again.
Yeah.
Because, like, until then, like, I had kind of been hoping that they would do another tour, and I would get to experience them as a fan and actually, like, kind of give back to them, like, by buying a ticket, like, for how much they had helped me.
Yeah.
And so it was, like, the, like, loss of potentials. Like, it's not like I had a personal connection with him, but the loss of potential for that experience, and that's not something that I'll ever be able to get.
Right.
Like, I would need a time machine.
Yeah.
But there's, like, the running, like, idea of, like, you know, no one knows where they'd go if they had a time machine. Everyone's like, no, I know where I'd go. I'd go see Rush in their prime days. I'd see other artists in their prime days,
mm-hmm.
like classic rock artists when they were in their prime.
Yes, I think two big ones that I would absolutely go see, Queen
mm-hmm.
and David Bowie.
Yeah.
Both ones that I got from my mom. She loves David Bowie, and she really passed that to me, and it's like, they did so much and had so much, like, presence, and just, like, they were just gorgeous on stage. Like, they had so much. Yeah. And I would kill to see them. And it's like, I know that I never will, and so it's just absorb what you can and enjoy what you have, unfortunately. But it's great music to listen to over and over and bond with other people. Like, I put on Queen and you're like, oh yeah, I love this. Yeah. It's like, okay, you can bond with people over that. Like, for marching band, I did a marching show that was all Queen music, and it was like, it got the crowd pumping because so many people knew them, versus if we played, like, something small or something classical, they might not know it. They might just kind of be like, oh, yeah, it's a marching band, nice. Okay, yeah, whatever. But they loved it because that was their thing. It's all, like, people my age's parents. That's their bands right there. Yeah. So they were crazy hyped about it.
I must say, like, one of my, like, music pet peeves, you weren't doing this, but, like, my music pet peeves is people assuming or expecting that, like, if you're under 30, you don't know any artists before the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2000s or whatever. It's like, just the other day we were at a karaoke bar. One of my go-to songs is a Rush song, and I went up, and, you know, it had this intro, and the guy asked you.
He said, does she know the lyrics?
One, who picks a karaoke song they don't know?
Not me. Could not be me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you had your back turned to the like, board of the lyrics, and he was like, does she know? And I was like, oh, she knows. And he's like, is she good? And I was like, just you wait, dude.
But no, like, it is a song I'm actually very confident in. It's one of a few songs where I don't have to look at the board, because, like, even if I know a song, I want to look at the board to make sure I'm getting the cue.
Yeah.
To continue, but I don't think I'll look back, except unless it was, like, you know, one of the...
Like, guitar solos.
The guitar solo, I was like, alright, let me just see how long this one is.
Right, yeah. I mean, even I was reading off a song that, like, I know all the words, but I was like, I need to see this.
You want to be sure.
I'm shaking in my britches. Like, I need to know what's going on, because I was freaking out.
But, like, that's just, again, like, a fun thing. Like, my party trick is I can go to a bar full of, like, middle-aged and older people, and no one expects me to pull out Rush and just know the lyrics without looking, and it usually, like, gets a fun reaction. It was fun. Like, I didn't know if, like, the vibes at the bar would be awkward, because we've never been there.
Right, yeah.
It was small. It was, like, an older crowd. It was an established crowd that knew each other.
Yes, they knew each other very well.
Yeah, so, like, I remember we walked in, everyone, like, did you notice? Like, everyone turned around and looked at us.
Yep.
And I was like...
They're like, who are these newbies?
Alright! And I was like...
But at the end...
this is gonna kill.
At the end, they were like, oh my god, come back, we do karaoke this day through this day every week. Yeah. I was like, damn!
No, like, one of the guys, like, requested a song from me after I did that, which has never happened to me before. Mm-hmm. The bartender was super hyped singing along with me.
Oh, he was getting into it.
He was into it. Mm-hmm. Someone else recorded the entire song. I really hope that, like, ends up on, like, the Rush Reddit or something. Like, look at this young girl singing Rush. He was like, I ain't never heard a woman sing Rush, but, like, men can't match his voice. So, like,
yeah.
Like, it's fun. I like pulling that out of my hat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Like, with songs like that, where they're older than us, and people are like, oh, how do you know that? It's, like, all the time. My mom is like, how do you know that song? And I'm like, well, for one, I played Guitar Hero all the time, and it's, like, a huge range of songs growing up. And it's like, we also have full access to the internet with every song now. It's like, of course we know it. We're going to want to absorb all that stuff. Like, I don't know.
Personally, like, my, like, intro to classic rock was watching Supernatural, because they would use a lot of classic rock in the soundtrack. And I would listen to that, I would like the song, I'd hear it on the radio, and then that became, like, the classic rock station would become my default. Or I'd download it, I'd, you know, look up the artist. The first CD I ever, like, bought, like, had my mom buy, was the Best of Styx CD, and I listened to that thing till it, like, wore out.
Aww.
And so now I know, like, you know, all those songs, like, really well. I ended up accidentally downloading the Best of Kansas because I was trying to download one song, and I got all of them from that album, and then I was like, well, I may as well listen to them. Yeah. I was like, oh my god, I love all of them, and then I actually went to see Kansas, which is something that I want to do with other classic rock artists, is, like, see them while they're still touring.
Yeah.
But I haven't, like, they've always been, like, on a weekend I was not available. So, like, I could have technically seen REO, Styx, and I think Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, together. But it was, like, it was only, like, 15 minutes away from an event that I was at, a con. But I would have had to figure out, like, how to Uber to the concert and back, get the tickets and everything, and it was just like, it's not gonna work out. I already have the con tickets.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I looked up, like, Styx tickets, and the lowest were, like, $600. I'm like, guys, come on. Please. And also, like, the pit was all seats. I'm like, can I please just stand in the pit?
Oh, yeah. The pricing of tickets has been insane. And, like, Taylor Swift tickets, I wasn't even gonna try. Like, I like her music. I'm not, like, necessarily one to go see her.
Yeah.
If maybe she had played close to me and the tickets were cheap, maybe I would have. Whatever. But people were selling their cars to buy pit tickets for her. I was like, why is a ticket more than $1,000? That's a little too much. I just bought Chapel Roan tickets for $400.
For two.
For they were $400 each.
Oh.
Yeah. That's crazy. Because she's getting super popular. Ghost tickets even were getting expensive.
Yeah.
It's nuts to me. Like,
that's why I'm, like, actually, you know, very, like, much enjoying getting into smaller bands or, like, not mainstream bands. Because, like, I saw Black Veil Brides, which, like, obviously they were pretty popular, like, 10 years ago. Not as popular now. But they've never even been, like, you know, super stardom. I was able to see them for, like, $50. And I had a great time. Getting into Amon Amarth, it was, like, $40. And then, like, I keep talking about them. I'm so happy to be getting into Avatar right now because they are still relatively small. Like, they are just starting to grow. They are starting to headline and take off. But, like, I just bought a ticket a few days ago. $45.
That's crazy.
I quite easily got barricade at their last show. You know, I only had to sit in line for 7 hours.
Only 7
Okay, it sounds like a lot. However, when I've gotten barricade at Ghost, I had to get there at 9 a.m. The set started at 9 p.m.
Oh my god.
But, am I boring you?
No.
No, I understand. Like, I always feel so bad, like, I can't not yawn.
That shit just comes out.
Yeah. But yeah, Avatar, like, we got there at 11, doors opened at 6:30, and God, I loved the way this venue let people in.
Oh, how so?
There was no, like, mad dash to barricade.
Oh.
You literally got let in the order you showed up because they were letting in, like, 2 people at a time.
That's nice.
So no one was...
Yeah,
and also just people were nice. So, like, if someone went to, like, the merch table, they could come back, they'd have their spot. Like, it was... The pit filled up really slowly, and, like, I love being so into a small band because, like, to me, I enjoy them, like, as much as Ghost. Like, to me, like, in my heart, they are that size. But on paper, they are not.
Right.
And that means I can see them in small venues, I can get to the front. I met all of them. Like...
Yeah, that ain't happening with Ghost.
No, and I don't know if I'll be able to do that again, because they've just started doing, like, VIP packages for meet and greets, and I'm like, holy shit, like, was that, like, the only chance to meet them? They announced these VIP packages, like, days after I met them. I'm like, but, like, they're so nice. They came out, like, deliberately to talk to people. It wasn't a situation where everyone, like, hounded them at the door on their way out. Like, we kind of milled around. They could have just gotten in the bus and left. They didn't. They came out, they talked to people, they took their time. They're great.
Yes, like, I love that.
And I'm gonna see them again in September.
Yes, for $45.
For $45! And probably, like, I have to travel to Ohio to do it, but
yeah,
it's fine. And get an Airbnb, and it's fine.
Yeah, no, even, like, I'm supposed to see AJR, like, in, like, a month, I think, and those tickets were less than the Chapel Roan ones, but they were still, like, I want to say maybe $200 each.
Nice.
But I know that they play big shows, and it's going to be a beast to try to even get remotely barricade. Yeah. Like, I don't even know what time the doors open, but we're going to be in line way ahead of time.
I'm absolutely realizing, like, I am a barricade bitch. You know, as long as I care about the artist, which I'm not really going to concerts unless I, like, really care, unless someone's just, like, bringing me, like, I wouldn't have bought a ticket and lined up for Chapel Roan. Like, I don't know her that well yet.
Right.
But, like, you invited me, I'm happy to go. If you wanted to go there to get barricade, I would have been happy to.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I like, if I'm really passionate about an artist, I don't care how long I gotta, like, sit there, and thankfully I'm into artists that I don't have to, like, camp out for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, please don't get that big. I want you to grow. Don't get that big.
Yeah, it's okay to gatekeep sometimes.
A little, as a treat. So, like, closing the music section, what are your upcoming concerts?
So
unless there's anything else you wanted to say.
No, I think I'm pretty set.
Yeah.
I've got AJR coming up, and then Chapel Roan. I also have a band. I'm trying to remember where they're from. I'm not entirely sure, so I'm not going to say because I don't want to mess that up.
Yeah.
But they are called Sigur Rós. And the lead singer, Jonesy, his music is like, he kind of makes up words. He has like his own language that he makes up and then sings it. And it's this like soft but powerful, gorgeous music with amazing like ups and downs in it. They did some music, I think, for the movie We Bought a Zoo. And then I think they also did some for like How to Train Your Dragon. So like gorgeous music, you know. But they are going to be with an orchestra. And I just know it is going to be beautiful to listen to that, because I saw them I think 2 years ago and it was just them, no orchestra, and even that was like, and I don't even really know the music that well. I got it through my mom. But it was beautiful then, and so I can't imagine like how much better it's going to be with an orchestra. So I'm actually really excited for that one. But I think just those three currently, but I'll be keeping my eye out for any future things. Ghosts, just hold off. I need money first.
Yeah. Give me a minute.
Yes.
So my upcoming ones that I have tickets for, I'm seeing Drag Talk in New York in a couple months, and then I'm seeing Avatar in September. Another thing I wanted to say is, like, because I'm like a barricade person, I'm seeing all the openers, and like, please see the openers. Like, if you like the main artist, the opener will probably be up your alley.
Oh, yeah.
And I've discovered bands that I like as openers. I bought tickets for Amon Amarth because they opened for Ghost, and I enjoyed seeing them. I bought tickets and got into Avatar because they opened for S9 Kills, and I wouldn't have, like, checked them out otherwise. They weren't, like, in my vicinity, in my radar.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened with me for Chapel Roan, because she opened for Olivia Rodrigo, and I love Olivia, and so when I found, like, one of her songs about a week before...
you told me, you were like, oh, the person who sings that song.
I was like, oh my god, I'm literally about to see them in concert. That's crazy. And then, gorgeous voice. Love her music. So, it's like... Yeah, the openers are... Pay attention to the openers. Give them some love, for sure.
Yeah, and also, pay attention to the opener when you're there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they know you're not there for them, probably, but, like, still, like, participate, applaud for them, like...
Concert etiquette.
Yeah, and, like, they need your energy, and, like, you're gonna have a better time. Like, when I went to Avatar, like, I really enjoyed Oxymorons open for them. I wasn't familiar with them at all. I didn't know what to expect, but some of the songs were easy to, like, pick up on, the chorus and everything, and I was singing along with them really quickly. I've added some of their songs. I'd love to see them again. Creeper open for Black Veil Brides. They sound really cool, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had checked them out ahead of time.
Right, yeah.
So, like, please check out your openers.
For sure.
So other than the two that I have tickets for, I will most likely be seeing Cybertronic Spree and Cruise Shadows at conventions at some point in the fall. Those aren't really things that I get tickets for. They'll just perform, like, on the convention stage.
Yeah.
And I'm planning to also photograph those.
Very cool.
So, yay!
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick word association game, and then we'll wrap.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be quicker than 20 questions. Alright. Maybe just, like, go back and forth. I guess, like, bread.
Butter.
Milk.
Cup.
Plate.
Fork.
Spoon.
Knife.
Oh god, we're on a theme. Blood.
Bath.
Shower.
Soap. Don't.
Lube.
I can't. Dildo.
Yeah. Suction.
Vacuum.
Oh yeah, lint.
Lint roller.
That's cat.
Cute.
Why? I feel like we're too good at this game. Because whenever I see people play word association, like, the words have nothing to do with each other. We're saying words that actually have to do with each other. We're not stupid enough for this. Yeah. God, I saw Basement Yard doing that. I was like, oh, that'd be funny. No, they're just stupid.
Yeah.
God, let me try this again. Potato.
Potato.
Jump.
Rope.
Dead.
Pool.
Oh. Marvel.
DC.
We're doing too well again. We can't do badly at this game. We're too smart.
It's too easy.
Damn. I thought that would be funnier. I thought we'd be like, Oh well. We yapped for over an hour. Good job.
Oh yeah.
We have been making it yappin'. As always, Red, your socials will be on the screen. We have them.
Enjoy.
We have access to them. They're somewhere over here.
Come bother me about ghouls on Twitter.
Yes. And see your Ghoul cosplay on TikTok.
Yes.
Ritual clips. Good content.
Oh, yes.
There's links in the description. My links are in there. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like and a subscribe. If you're on Spotify, follow the podcast. Comment what you thought. Suggest ideas for videos. If I know you and you want to be on here, let's chat. So we have made it yappin'. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.